came over here in '92, December of '92, and it was from Vietnam to here. It was a huge difference. I guess my dad was in the war. He's a POW, and so we came over here, find a better life, escape persecution and such. And coming over here in December was like a massive difference because it was pretty sunny back in Vietnam, and then over here, all of a sudden we're stuck in this one-room apartment, the three, me, my dad, and my mom, and it's freaking cold outside, and we don't know anyone. We don't have any relatives here, and so it was quite a memorable moment, although be a bad moment. And it probably didn't get any better because we still didn't have many relatives. None of us spoke English, and so I had to start school. And then my dad went to Renton Technical College just to for 2 years to try and establish some type of career for him. And I guess he had it even harder because he'd had to go to college in the morning and then ESL at night, and he had to really catch up on his ESL as quick as possible to pass his classes. And he eventually became a welder, which he found a job out of that, but it wasn't the greatest of jobs. While I went to school and went to ESL until 3rd grade, and weirdly enough, they sent me to schools way up north, I guess for affirmative action or something. And so I would be like one of the 2 Asians in the school, and there'd be like maybe another black person, and everyone else is white, and it was just scary as hell. And then my mom didn't speak any English, and her skills were of course in cooking, so she would work at pho restaurants or just some type of restaurants. And it was just like that for a couple years, and we were just stuck in an apartment on Beacon Hill. And fortunately for us, we moved to Rainier, which was a more minority-filled area, so we got to meet some Asian folks and get to know the community, and we were kind of accepted, so that made life a bit easier. But for me personally, I had to deal with being the minority of the school, and it was pretty hard. It was probably really hard to try and learn English. One of my best memories, or the most scariest memories, I would say technically, is going to kindergarten and didn't understand what the teacher was saying. All you see was her pointing at the chair, and I'm like, I guess that means sit. And I just sat, and after that, the memory just blanks out. I'm just like, and then 3 years later, here I am. I moved to a different school, and I'm at Co Elementary, which is a little bit more, well, a lot more minorities in there, and we moved a lot. So I moved up to a lot of schools, and ultimately I spent most of my elementary schooling at Viewlands, which is now closed, and that was way up in Linwood, and so that was a really harsh commute, first of all, and it was just hard to assimilate into there. And yeah, elementary was a little bit scary, and I guess when you have bad memories, you just kind of block out everything, and so I don't really remember much of elementary. In middle school, I went to Washington Middle School, which was a lot more closer to where I was living then, which is in Chinatown on Yesler. And so there, I was still kind of the quiet kid, the reserved kid, because I didn't really know anyone, and my English was okay by then, but it still wasn't the greatest. And like all Asian kids, my specialty was math, and that's the only class I ever really did good in, and everything else was like really hard, and I had to figure it out for myself because my parents, they didn't really speak or read much English, so everything by then you just had to figure out by yourself, and that was most of the difficulty. I think getting into high school was the turning point. That was where I kind of discovered myself a little bit more. I found more friends, because before then I didn't really have many friends. I kept moving, and I was in neighborhoods where people were really reclusive. They didn't reach out to each other that much because they were all immigrants too. And so by high school I found a lot of friends, and I just got really active in groups and clubs and stuff, and it became a pretty enjoyable experience. What else to say? college. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna lead. Forget. But when I got to high school, it was actually, I didn't know what in the world college was actually, and I joined a program called Upward Bound, and they got my people in disadvantaged situations ready for college, and so that was the way I learned about college, and then they helped me prepare for college, and I went to Cleveland High School too, which wasn't the greatest high school. Actually, it's the worst high school in the district now, and so when I did eventually get into college, it was UW. It was a really harsh experience because that high school didn't get me any ready for college at all. But I myself, I took the initiative to get myself ready for college. I joined a lot of groups, clubs, did a lot of activities and such. So did running start to prepare myself, and so eventually here I am.